Hey folks, welcome to the show. I hope you had a great day besides the results of the Oilers game tonight. Of course, if you had a great day because of the Oilers game tonight, screw you. But also welcome to the channel. I'm happy you're here. I really am. I'm happy. This channel is supposed to be more than just the Oilers, but obviously I specialize in the Oilers because I haven't missed a game in quite a few years. I've actually wanted to miss this Vancouver and Edmonton Oilers series because it is great hockey. If you are not a fan of either team, don't have a horse in the race, or aren't strongly passionate about either team, this is an amazing series to watch. I just get my heart can't take it. I can't have a heart attack in my mid-20s. And I don't got much going on for me right now, so I really need the Oilers to pull through. Hey, if they don't, God's good. God's got a plan. It's just painful right now. It's just a painful plan right now, and yeah. Anyways, let's talk about the game. My view of the game turned more from disappointment and sadness to anger as I reflected more on it. But let's get into what happened. Now, coming into the game, Elias Pettersson and another Canucks were chewed out, rightfully so, by Tocchet. I don't know. He said 5 to 7 passengers. He didn't name all the passengers. He only named one, Elias Pettersson, who was the most obvious passenger. He has only had 1 point in the series, and that was a power play goal, I think, in Game 1 or Game 2, one of those. He did get a point tonight, and we'll talk about how he played. But throughout the game, Vancouver fans were very nice to him, saying "Let's go, Petey," which was very nice of them. Didn't result in much, and we'll talk about the assist because just because I'm giving an unbiased review doesn't mean my feelings about it are neutral. I can have bad feelings about something and still give an unbiased review. Might not sound like it, but we'll try. Also, Roughing is always comes up, especially when the Oilers are playing, and especially when the Canucks are playing, and especially when they're playing against each other. If two Canadian teams are playing against each other, the roughing is bad. If you're asking a fan, I don't think it was as bad tonight. There was certainly some soft calls that I was kind of on, and some missed calls. No, it didn't favor a certain team. No, it didn't. It's not rigged. Yada yada yada. Just some questionable calls. The one that got questioned the most is actually the one, once you look at the rule book, is actually the one that was the best call. But we'll get to it. So let's start. 45 seconds in, the trend of having a penalty within the first 5 minutes of the game continues this time, and they seem to be taking turns. It's the Oilers going on a power play first. Pius Suter runs into Calvin Pickard, picks up goalie interference. The Oilers go on the power play. They've been awesome on the power play, and then it doesn't go well. It's like, okay, well, we'll get them next time. This is an elite power play. Nobody's 100%, and we'll get them next time, right? The Oilers do score an even strength goal within the 5-minute mark. In fact, just under 30 seconds shy. It's Evander Kane scoring his third goal of the playoffs. He's assisted by Draisaitl and Vinny Desharnais. That play began because of Dylan Holloway. Dylan Holloway was elevated to Draisaitl's line last game, and he remained there for this game along with Kane. And the puck was about to exit the zone thanks to some good back checking by Holloway. The puck was able to remain in the zone. Desharnais picks it up, who gives it to Draisaitl, who gives it to Kane, who scores. It's a 1-0 game. And there's a reason I'm calling out Holloway because I loved Holloway today, which we'll get there when we get there. So 4.5 minutes later, the Oilers do get a try at the power play again. Quinn Hughes sends the puck over the glass. Still a of the game. We'll get him this time. No goal. No goal on the play. Vancouver penalty kill. It's doing great. My impression on the first power play was, they're not playing a great penalty kill. They're just playing good enough. Yeah, they got some takeaways, but they're just playing good enough to make sure that the Oilers' shots aren't on net. The Oilers had a lot of shot attempts on the power play. But they were forced to be very precise shots, and by that I mean not much room for mistakes, and Vancouver does enough to make sure that the Oilers only have a small window to score, and make it as hard as possible to score on that small window, and so don't. So, hey, and however you kill the penalty kills, as long as it's killed, right? I'm realizing a spelling mistake on Shaq Hyman, who showed up today in a signed Shaq jersey. That was great to see because he sent a signed Hyman jersey to Shaq because they found out Hyman was nicknamed Shaq Hyman while he was in the AHL for his play around the paint. He hasn't been around the net too much. I haven't seen him much there on the power play as the Oilers power play adjusted to Vancouver's play in front of the net. Maybe they'll put him back there after tonight, but we'll get there, right? Sarcasm's coming out tonight. I am sarcastic, but I'm not that sarcastic. But it looks like we're halfway through the first, and I've already had quite a few sarcastic comments. Now, passing the halfway mark of the first period, the Oilers get a third power play opportunity. Ian Cole, the greatest Oilers agent of the series, as some Canucks fans say, holds Dylan Holloway. Actually, I think Ian Cole had a good game today. But besides that, he was a -1, though. But I thought he was good today. And besides that, he takes a holding penalty against Dylan Holloway. It's our third try. Let's go, Oilers. We're going to extend the lead. Surely we'll score on the third power. Oh, well, 1-0 game still. And then, part of that reason that it was killed so early is because during the power play, Zach Hyman is called for holding Nikita Zadarov's stick, but the Vancouver Canucks do not score on their short power play opportunity afterwards. But the Canucks do score 17 minutes and 27 seconds into the first. Carson Soucy scores a goal thanks to a feed from Evan Bouchard, who Evan Bouchard had a weird game in that he was really good defensively today. He had a really good game except when he had the puck. He was not good with the puck today. He got a lot more careful in the second and third, but he had some bad giveaways in the first and some bad passing choices throughout the game. And one of those giveaways was Carson Soucy scoring his first goal of the playoffs, the lone Albertan on the Vancouver team, and of course one of 3 or 4 Canadians on Canada's team if Canucks win the series. I'm not even 100% Canadian. I'd be mad at the Canucks representing Canada because it's just like 3 or in the finals. I mean, because it's like 3 or 4 Canadian players, which I would absolutely make fun of. In that Vegas won the cup with like 16, with the most Canadians in the league, and Vancouver would win the cup next year later with the least Canadians. Of course, we're getting ahead of ourselves. It's round 2. Not even over yet. Gotta remind myself and all Oilers fans it's not over yet. Though I've met some Oilers fans who say it is. But it's a good thing they're not playing then. So anyways, 1-1. And the Oilers aren't content with it being 1-1. They want the lead, which is great. 23 seconds after that, Connor Brown on a 2-on-1 assists Matthias Janmark for his first goal of the playoffs. It's a great play. Got some depth scoring, and the two were broken out by a great pass from Brett Kulak, who I also thought had a good game. So the period ends, shots tied at 11, more so because of the Oilers' power play, and with a lead 2-1 for the Oilers. But at the end, it's determined that we 4-4 to begin the next period as Tyler Myers punches Matthias Janmark in the face, and Matthias Janmark in the ref sides went down a little easy. I wasn't sure. On the second, they showed one replay, and on that replay, I was kind of like, well, maybe he did, but I wanted another look, so I can't really say he did, but they called it embellishment. And I do admit that it did look a little easy on one look, because I saw it, but I only actually focused on it during the replay. And I was kind of like, yeah. Anyways, so second period begins with some more 4-on-4 action in which neither team scores. But Vancouver has an amazing period, 5-on-5, and on the penalty killing, but not on the power play, which they do have a power play 2.5 minutes into the second period when Warren Fogle interferes with Connor Garland, and that power play is killed by the Oilers. But like the Oilers, they don't score too long after their power play is killed. Di Giuseppe scores his first goal of the playoffs unassisted. Both teams now have fourth line players. I believe he's fourth line. If not, he's bottom 6 players scoring. And it's a 2-all game. And the Canucks now have the chance to give themselves a lead when Evander Kane is caught for slashing Nikita Zadorov. I don't think it was one of the toughest slashes you've seen. It might be one of the softer slashes you've seen that is called, but at the same time, it's not like the ref can blow the whistle and say, "Are you hurt?" Like, they see it, they're going to call it, and especially if it's around the fingers, which it was. But just like the Edmonton power play, the Vancouver power play stinks and does not score. Quick, and part of that, again, because of the earlier Oilers power play, it's because the Canucks take a penalty during the power play. This one was booed at mercilessly by the Canucks fans. They thought it was pretty bad, and I think it's just more of a communication issue. So the official calls Elias Pettersson charged Warren Foegele. And if you don't know the rule book, like I did when and most of us didn't know in the rule book how it's worded, we're like, what the heck? He didn't charge, because what we're thinking is you have to take out excessive strides before you hit. Peterson was counter-checking Warren Foegele. Warren Foegele was coming from behind, and he jumps up and hits Warren Foegele. It's a great play by Pettersson, but there's a call, so it's like he didn't charge, he just jumped up. That's the problem. In the rule book, it says not only taking excessive strides, but also jumping into a player is considered charging. So it is a absolutely by the book good call. It's a call you don't see a lot. So it obviously caught a lot of players by surprise, and it wasn't until somebody pointed out on the rule books that, you can't jump into a hit. I mean, we could assume that you shouldn't jump into a hit because you don't see it a lot, but it wasn't like a big jump. He was off the ice by like an inch or two, but he still jumped. And it's a very dangerous play because if Foegele didn't slow down, either Foegele was going to be on his back, which he was, or Pettersson was going to be on his face. It's a pretty dangerous play. So the Oilers get a power play opportunity, and after 4-on-4 ends, it's their chance to score. You can see the power play numbers at the bottom. I post it there. You can see. And so you can guess how the Oilers' fifth power play of the game goes 14.5 minutes into the second period when Dakota Joshua goes off for interfering with Connor McDavid. Didn't happen. I was going to complain that say, hey, maybe Canucks should get a delay of game penalty because a lot of fans threw garbage on the ice after the Pettersson charge, but maybe it would have been less embarrassing to also have our power play suck on a 5-on-3. So, whatever. Anyways, period ends with a dominant performance by the Canucks in always but scoring and power play, outshooting the Oilers 17-4. I was frankly relieved the Oilers survived that period. It was bad. It was ugly, besides their penalty kill, and besides Picard, who, as I mentioned earlier, might be outplaying his talent and or abilities, I should say. And he had a great period and he'll continue to have a great game. Doesn't mean he gets the win column, though, this time. So the period ends 2-2 with shots heavily in favor of the Canucks. Third period is mostly quiet, but doesn't last too long. By quiet, you're still hitting shots. You know what I mean. There's not so many whistles. One of the whistles is Brett Kulak tripping up Elias Lindholm. And like all power plays during this game, it dies kind of pathetically, really. Good saves by Picard throughout those power plays and stuff. We'll talk about it later. I'm doing my best to be unbiased, and if you think I am, I'm happy to hear. Happy to hear any encouraging comments in the comment section below. And of course, if you're a Canucks fan, you're free to comment what you want. Doesn't mean I'll like it. I won't delete it. Probably not. We'll see how far you go. But anyways, while I'm on that topic, I'd love to see if you like this video. If you think I earned it, comment your thoughts down below and subscribe and turn on notifications for more. But frankly, I'm just happy you're watching this far, so I'm happy with that too. But I could be happier. I'd be happiest if this video got 0 views and the Oilers won the game, but here we are. Yeah. Anyways, the period is the shots surprisingly were in Oilers' favor by the end of I think. I'm double checking that. It didn't feel like it. I know it was 8-7 because I remember reading that on the third period, but I could have sworn the Canucks led. If not, they looked like it. Oilers did not look great. Knobloch was like, oh, I know, I'll put McDavid and Dry together. Oh, yeah, the combo that the Canucks did really well against in Game 3. Yeah, let's do that again. Thank you, Knobloch. Okay, it was 8-7 in favor of the Oilers. Whatever. But there wasn't a lot of high danger chances. Do you know what is a high danger chance is when Pettersson's shot goes off the post, and because the Canucks are kings of the lucky bounce, it bounces directly to JT Miller's stick, who puts it in, scores what will be the game-winning goal with 33 seconds left in the period. And hey, good on him. I realize I wrote Elias Lindholm. I'm mad. You can forgive me. JT Miller. What was that? 4th goal, I believe. 3rd goal of the playoffs. Assisted by Elias Lindholm. And, oh yeah, they're both Elias's. Assisted by Lindholm and Pettersson. Other way around, though. Pettersson got the primary assist because his shot went off the post. Perfectly to Miller's stick. Who puts it in? And if I wasn't an Oilers fan or Canucks, I don't want to say hater, but discourager, I'd be very happy for JT Miller because I am a JT Miller fan. I'll talk more about that later. But the Canucks win 3-2, and yet another one-goal battle. Each game of the series has been a one-goal battle. It's for that reason and many others is why we're all saying, hey, this might be the series of the playoffs. But I hate it. I've said in all these videos, I hate watching it. It's too intense for me. I honestly would not watch it if I hadn't missed a game in 2 years. I would not watch this game. And if I didn't have a YouTube video, I would not watch it. I would just play Halo and just look at the updates. Keep my mind off of it. Anyways, final stats of the game. Vancouver outshot the Oilers badly, 35-23. Vancouver doesn't often get over 30 shots, and Edmonton isn't often limited to 23 shots, and Edmonton isn't often being outshot so badly. But that's what happened. And what I said a lot in the regular season, if you're going to get outshot and lose the game, at least out-hit the opponent. Did not happen. Vancouver was a better hitting team, 42-20 with the hits for the Canucks. Oilers weren't bad hitting, it's just Vancouver did really great hitting. Do you know what else Vancouver did great? Winning. Oh, look, another mistake here. I'm just like the Oilers. I don't think I've ever had such a sarcastic video, and it will be a long while for me to have another sarcastic video. We'll see how Game 6 goes. Now, Vancouver was also great in the face-off circle. They've been winning the face-off circle a lot this series, but not as high as this. They had, I think, Game 1, they had a really strong face-off performance, and the other ones were more 52, 53%, but this one was 57.1% in favor of the Canucks. Both penalty kills were perfect, one slightly more than the other. Canucks penalty kill was 5 for 5, only allowing 3 shots. Now, again, I am a little spoiled as an Oilers fan. I get to watch one of the greatest power plays in history, a power play that was the greatest in history last year, and having one of the best power plays of the postseason we've ever seen. So yeah, sure, I'm a little spoiled. And that's what I was kind of thinking. Once we were 0 for 2, it's like, hey, most teams don't score a power play on their first 2 power plays. And even at 3, I was like, hey, the league average is like 20%. So as long as we score on the 4th one, and we didn't. It's like, okay. And 5 power plays, no goals. That's bad for any team, especially if you're the Edmonton Oilers. And to make it worse was we only had 3 shots on goal in 5 power plays. We had a lot. I would like to see the shots attempted on those power plays. I think we attempted like 2 million. Of course, the boards are all black behind Sheloffs during that game because of how much we missed the net by inches. It wasn't like it was CC by a mile moment. There was a lot of inches, and they say it's a game of inches. The Oilers power play also allowed 2 shots against. So last game, the Edmonton Oilers penalty kill was elite, and this time it was the Vancouver's penalty kill that was elite. Though the Oilers penalty kill was still amazing. Certainly the best part of the game besides Picard, who is part of the penalty kill. The Oilers penalty kill was 4 for 4, allowing only 7 shots against. Calvin Picard was the best player for the Oilers. Undoubtedly, he was 32 for 35, 914 save percentage. Sheloffs still above 900%. Good game for him, of course. 21 of 23 he saved. Now going into 3 stars. Because of all the additional viewership I've gotten, I would once again like to explain I do 3 stars a little differently. I don't use the official 3 stars because a lot of time there's some home bias because you don't need a... Sorry, my hair might be messed up. whatever. You don't want a Chris Chelios moment where that's another story for another day, but let's just say he was on the road team, the home team named him first star, and he went really far with it. He had a lot of fun with it. So you don't often see home team players excluded from the 3 stars unless it's like a really bad game and the fans don't care at that point. So I do mine a little differently. I'll have my own 3 stars, but I'll also, from an Oilers perspective, choose out the 3 best Oilers players. And I'll start with that. The first one you can guess, I've already hinted at, Calvin Pickard, 32 saves on tonight, in which he was, again, our best player. Now, 2 stars, the second and third star, I could choose from Evander Kane and Mattias Janmark, who both scored for the Oilers and both had good games. I'm not taking away from that. But I didn't choose either of them. Of the 2 goals the Oilers scored, no one who scored was on here. In fact, there's only 1 point between the 2 guys because I was very impressed with the Oilers' defense. I was very negative with our offense because our defense was great at getting the puck out of our zone. Usually, we just were terrible at getting it into the other team's zone unless it was on the power play, in which we just kind of passed and missed the net. So, second star for the Oilers, in my opinion, was Desharnais. He had an assist, 3 hits, 4 blocks, 15.5 minutes of time on ice, which is a little low, but he spent 2 minutes and 49 seconds of that doing amazing on the penalty kill. He was absolutely another bright spot for the Oilers. And the third star is a young bright spot, one guy who I raved about throughout the game, Dylan Holloway. Even though he didn't have a point, he was a huge contributor to Evander Kane's goal to make it a 1-0 game. He had 4 hits and 4 blocks in his 12 minutes and 10 seconds time on ice. Really big difference maker in his short amount of time. I'm happy he's getting time with Draisaitl. He looks really good. I think once his shot is there, hopefully it's there, he'll be a force. I think he'll be a big reason for solving Oilers having some top 6 holes. We always seem to have 5 really good top 6 guys, and then if we finally have all 6, one of them's getting injured, like Evander Kane, who is a good top 6 forward. He's just been dealing with a sports hernia all year, and last year he had a massive gash in his wrist. That's not me being hard on Evander Kane. I'm not blaming the guy for losing a ton of blood. I was about to make an insensitive joke with a cut to the wrist. You can guess where I was going to go with that. And I'm not going to make fun of the guy for having a sports hernia. There's other things to make fun of him for. But hey, good on Evander Kane. Happy to see him succeed. Happy to see Anna Kane seething. But it is me doing the most seething today that I know of. 3 stars on the game. Calvin Pickard was one of the 3 stars I elected. He was the second star. The first and third star were both Canucks. And again, I'm not choosing a lot of goal scorers in this game because I thought the difference maker was the defense and Calvin Pickard. The third star was Tyler Myers, actually, who was a +3. He had 5 hits, 4 blocks, and just over 20 minutes of time on ice, which included 1 second shy of 3 minutes of very good penalty killing by Tyler Myers. First star did have a goal and had the goal. It is one of my favorite players in the league. It's just a shame he's on a team that... Look, I don't want to offend Canucks fans because I want them to be here. I'm happy they're here, and I'm not trying to make enemies, but you can understand. Canucks are really low down there for me. But I am a huge JT Miller fan. I really am. I love JT Miller's game. I'm a little biased to him for American stuff because I am half American and got bullied for that a lot growing up in Canada, so I'm partial to Americans quite a bit. Then you say, whoa, then you should be partial to Canucks because of Quinn Hughes, Thatcher Demko, and Brock Passer. I am partial to those players, just not the team. Anyways, JT Miller had a great game. He has been more in a defensive role these last 2 games against Connor McDavid, and they both played really excellent defense against each other. So it's a huge sacrifice for the Canucks to sacrifice your best offensive player, JT Miller, for such a thing, but it's worth it when you're helping cancel out Connor McDavid. McDavid still gets chances. You can't stop him from getting good chances, but Sheeloff can stop him from getting goals. JT Miller, in addition to his game winner, had 3 hits, was amazing in the faceoffs, won 14 of the 21 he took, played just over 22 minutes on the ice, which included 44 seconds of shorthanded time, in which, again, he was good. So some other notes before I close out. I will see how much sarcasm comes here. We talked about Elias Pettersson. Did he rebound? I don't think so. He had a really good look in the first period where he drove to the net, and then he missed. And he didn't really look good. He had some really bad giveaways too. He did get an assist, which, again, good on him. And it was a primary assist, despite my mistake here. And I was going to denounce it as, well, it's just a lucky bounce because I'm angry, but at the same time, it's got to be in Tocchet's game plan. How many of your goals are bounces? Like 90% of them? Holy cow. Jeez Louise. It must be game plan at this point. Like, yeah, we'll just bounce it in. How do you game plan that? And yet, you must be, because it... Anyway, so I wasn't, like, particularly impressed by Elias Pettersson. More impressed by him than a lot of Oilers. Sure, but, yeah, so maybe he'll step up more. As an Oilers fan, I'm going to hope to and say, that he's saying, hey, I got an assist. I'm good again. And then continue to not be impressive. I don't know who the other quote-unquote passengers were. Canucks fans can say who they think it is, but who they are, so I'm not going to comment on them either. And then I'm going to say Tocchet outcoached Knoblauch badly. Like, really badly, I think. Knoblauch finally proved why he was hired in-game playoffs-wise, because he's proved himself in the regular season, but you got to prove yourself in the postseason, and he's done it a few times, and he finally did it last game. It was a great moves, great adjustments by Knoblauch. Awesome job. Deserves that win, Knobber. Deserves this loss, too. Tocchet made the right adjustments in those 48 hours. And you know what intermission is for? It's not just for the fans and the media and the players to get a rest. It's also for the coach to do his job and make proper adjustments. Do what Knoblauch didn't do? Do his job and make proper adjustments, at least from what I could tell. If he did, they didn't freaking work. And the most notable adjustment he made was putting McDavid and Draisaitl back together in the third period, which I think lost us Game 3. Wow, there's a lot of sarcasm here. If you are part of the Oilers organization or Knoblauch, like, I'm not like hating on you. I'm just frustrated because I believe in you. And in fact, I'm going to say I do think the Oilers are going to win Game 6. Part of that, I don't know how much of it is me coping and just trying to be positive. I know it's part of it. I know it's part of me saying that is me just wanting to believe. But there's also the fact is, like, I think from Game 1, you could tell this was going to 7 games. I never wanted to admit it. I never wanted to believe it. And now that the Oilers need to go to 7 in order to win the series, I'm willing to believe it. Because it's like, hey, every single one of these games are the 1-goal games. This has been an extremely tight series. Am I going to be embarrassed if the Oilers lose? Usually if we lose in an extremely tight series, I'll say, hey, you tried your best. But it's the Vancouver Canucks. It's a team we are much better against. We just don't win against. When I talked about this in my Oilers reviews, and now I'm rambling on. I don't have the timer on to where I'm at. But, like, first game against the Canucks, we get demolished. But, hey, it was the first game. First game jitters. We'll be fine. We'll play them next game. And we outplay them. We demolish them. Except their goalie sucks, and their goalie is Casey DeSmith is a freaking demigod all of a sudden. He was a good backup season, but he's not that good of a goalie, except when he plays Oilers, of course. So, Canucks win those first 2 games. Oilers had their bad start, and hey, they're doing good again. And they outplay the Canucks in Game 3 and lose because of Casey DeSmith. Or was it Thatcher Demko? I can't tell anymore. I can't tell the difference between Casey DeSmith and Thatcher Demko when they play the Oilers because they both have 40-save performances, and Game 4 goes the same way. A lot of attitude in this video. Wow, Isaac. I'm actually an extremely positive guy. I pride myself on being extremely positive and being one of the most positive Oilers fans. I really do. But I needed to let this out. And I'm going to say I still believe in the Oilers. You know, there's a reason Vancouver has to win 4 because you might lose Game 6 and 7. It happens. Absolutely. We've seen crazier things happen in the league. Absolutely. I was going to make another sarcastic comment, but I think I've had enough. So that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please like the video down below. I could use the support right now. Even if you're a Canucks fan, I will appreciate some positive comments down below. Even if you're being more supportive of the Canucks than they was, that's fine. I even was angry in that. What's going on? It is late. It is late. And there's rock and roll going in the background from the Halo soundtrack. I think it's the Incubus one. Did you know Incubus collided with... That's a different video. It's not Incubus, by the way. It's Breakaway Benjamin. Anyways, yeah, and subscribe and turn on notifications. Yeah, if this video didn't go past 30 minutes, you know what? I might put it up close to 30 minutes. That's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to be in a happier mood. Game 6. After Game 6 on that review for Saturday night. I got other things to talk about as well. If you're a Canucks fan, I am super happy to have you. I really am. And I hope you cry Saturday night. Bye-bye for now.